Oh my goodness, am I really here with the Dr. Eric Roman? Hi, Eric. How are
Hey,
you?
Victoria, it is so great to be here with you. And my, oh my, we got some exciting stuff to talk about, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Hey, guys, we thought we would take a minute just to bring you behind the scenes. We are vigorously planning for the 20th anniversary productivity workshop in September in Frisco. And Eric is going to take the stage as part of our clinical calibration course for young doctors. Eric, tell us about the course that you're doing here at our program.
Victoria, what we're talking about is how young doctors, and honestly, doctors at any stage of their development, can calibrate their life to their professional career, calibrating your life and your career. Because one of the challenges I've had the joy over my journey. By the way, Victoria, I don't know that a lot of people know, I actually attended the PDA workshop before I started practicing dentistry. Like I was still in residency at the time. And so my entire life has been productive. Right?
I remember you couldn't even grow a beard back then.
Couldn't even grow it. No, I might have had like 2 little blonde facial hairs. How times have changed, right? And so, it had such a massive impact on me throughout my career in PDA. So what a really cool fitting way to hopefully channel some of that incredible career opportunity to the audience and the attendees. One of the things that I found in coaching and hiring well more than triple digits of associates and teaching clinical directors, we've got a really hard space inside of our profession right now with the plight of the employed dentist, the dental associate. And we have extraordinarily high turnover. We have ridiculously poor data. And what that really means is that our young doctors aren't getting what they wanted out of their career. And the second thing that I discovered is that financial success does not translate into people getting what they want out of their lives. And if we can't connect our financial success and our performance in doing good while we're doing good in our practices to getting what we want out of our incredible lives, my Victoria, like, why are we doing this in the first place? So I'm going to give all the attendees some really tactical strategies to be able to take back and put into their lives ASAP so that they're going to get what they want out of their dental career.
Oh man, I love that so much. Well, thank you so much for being a part of it. In September, this whole program, the first of its kind in the nation, because it's coming from PDA and we've never done this before, but it is a program specific to associate doctors. So if you're an owner and you're contemplating hiring an associate, or you've just hired an associate, your associate is stuck in their productivity at 200, 300, 400 an hour, something like 3,000 a day. We can boost that. We can accelerate that and quickly get your associates up to speed where they're producing like an owner. But more importantly, they've got life balance and they're grounded in their happiness in their career. Dr. David Port talks about that a lot, his research study and his doctorate degree, the value creation for doctors. And it really is about values alignment between the work I love and the life I'm building. And so, Eric, there is no one better in our industry, whether you're young or young at heart, that couldn't benefit from your one life system and making sure that your life path is aligned with your career path. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Victoria. I'm excited to see you and the team in September and can't wait to see who else is going to be joining us there. It's going to be an event that you don't want to miss. So here's your chance. Sign your butt up and get out there. We'll see you in Texas.
Doctor, are you living the dream or just dreaming of living? It is my honor to announce the PDA 20th Anniversary Special Conference this September 12th to the 14th in Frisco, Texas, the nation's leading course on dental practice growth. If you feel isolated as a leader who is frustrated that your schedule is unproductive, maybe your team is disjointed, or your systems are inefficient, this is the conference for you. The PDA 20th Anniversary Conference has all new features, including keynote speaker Emmitt Smith, who is a Pro Football Hall of Fame running back and entrepreneur, You can choose your own educational track to customize your learning experience. Go to www.productivedentist.com and click the pop-up, or select Productive Dentist Academy Conference under the Dental CE and Events tab. That's www.productivedentist.com. Seating is limited. Register today, and we look forward to helping you make your dreams become reality.
The number one question I get to is, we're calibrating to what? And for you and me, it has been consistent for 20 years, regardless of the insurance environment. We calibrate to comprehensive care. We calibrate to health.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Bruce B. Baird, and you're listening to the Productive Dentist Podcast. In this podcast, I will give you everything that I've learned over the last 40 years in dentistry, working with thousands of dentists. I'll tell you, it's not that my way is the only way. It's just one that has worked extremely well for me, and I'd love to share that with you, so you too can enjoy the choices and lifestyle that productivity allows. More time for things you love, increased pay, better team relationships, and lowered stress. Let's get into it with this week's episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.
Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria Peterson here with my partner, Dr. Bruce Baird. And Bruce, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. And in true PDA style, we're celebrating by creating. And for 20 years, you and I have said we're member built and driven. And we have a huge announcement. It is industry changing announcement about a new institute that we've launched and a brand new program that we're showcasing in September. Tell everybody what we're up to.
Well, super excited about our new program called the Clinical Calibration Institute. And, we've heard, across dentistry, dentists are trying to increase their productivity, but take better care of their patients. And that's something that we found across the board. The better you take care of your patients, the better you do financially. But we've started seeing in the DSO world and in dentistry this same store sales growth. Everything has become about growing my business from one year to the next. But associates in these environments are struggling, and they're having a tough time increasing their productivity because that fear is one of those things. And I've heard Lincoln Harris talk about it. Fear causes us not to move forward with doing treatments, even though we've been trained to do them. And on the backside of fear, we find confidence. And once we're confident, then we begin doing more procedures. And so this program is going to increase your confidence and to get rid of that fear of telling a patient what they really need to have done. What do they need to have done? I mean, comprehensive treatment planning. They didn't come to you to figure out which tooth they need to do next. They came to you to figure out what's going on in their mouth and how can we help them. And that's what the Clinical Calibration Institute is all about. It's taking the verbal skills, it's taking, the communication skills, and adding the clinical skills and the clinical mentors to be able to grow your productivity and to grow your business. And so we're super excited about it.
I love it. This one project, I went back in my notes. We have been talking about this for 5 years. We started talking about it pre-pandemic. So excited that it's coming to life. So let's talk about what's happening in September. We're in Frisco. We have our productivity workshop. We have our clients coming back working on their businesses through the Investment Grade Practice Summit. And we've carved out some times specifically for associates. We started this at our last workshop and we're really expanding. So like you said, you're going to, the number one question I get to is, we're calibrating to what? And for you and me, it has been consistent for 20 years, regardless of the insurance environment. We calibrate to comprehensive care. We calibrate to health. It's not about finding more all-on-4 procedures or more crowns or anything like that. When you open up diagnostically to diagnosing by risk factors, you see it all. You see the airway issues, you see the functional issues, and the treatment plans naturally guide themselves. So with that, Bruce, we're going to let these associates spend the morning with you on day one. you and Dr. Wade Kiefer, who is a mentor at the Coy Center, Dr. Jackson Bean, who's been implementing this and mentoring young doctors now for 20 years. He still thinks he's a young buck, but we're all moving over. So we're going to start out with strong foundation of what it means to be a diagnostician first, and then repairing the damage second. So I'm really excited about that. We've got your lead assistant, Summer Carroll, in there, so you can work with a real world assistant who knows how to keep up with doctors who are doing $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 an hour. It takes a lot of delegation and a lot of synchronicity. So we've not left the team out of this program.
Not at all. Yeah.
We're just adding to it. So day 2, let's talk about that. Brand new cast of speakers, PDA alumni and friends from around the world. Kicking it off will be Dr. Eric Roman. Many of you out there know Eric. He and I were chatting yesterday, and he said, the first class I took in dentistry was Productive Dentist Academy while I was still a senior in dental school. It has shaped and informed my life. He's going to be there talking about calibrating your life and your career. And it's been fascinating. He has helped mentor so many clinical directors for groups and mentor associates. And I said, what's the number one reason associates leave their job? Why do they change jobs? And he said, they'll tell you it's the money, or they'll tell you it's the freedom, but really there's a life issue that they're trying to solve with a career decision. And so if you don't take care of your life and you don't have a strong foundation there, then you start hitting all the tripwires and all the social statistics we see in dentistry. I don't think we needed to belabor that, but I'm super thrilled to have Eric there. And then we've got our number one hotshot right now, Dr. John Ehlers. We have so many doctors adopting robot technology, even though they've been placing implants for a decade. They know that with multiple doctors, they want a new level of consistency. So there's implants, there's Invisalign. We've got Alison Lecoussier coming for aligner technology. She's probably the world's leader in implementing this. We have Overjet and AI technology. We've got Glidewell. We've got 3D print, not 3D printing. What is it, Bruce? Milling.
Yep, they've got milling, and they're coming with printing too, printing as well. So it's a super exciting.
We also have our friends from Ripe Global, Lincoln Harris, international speaker and founder of one of the most innovative virtual simulation trainings for full mouth restorative implant and aligners. So he's coming all the way from Australia to be with us. And we've actually asked our alliance partners to create a tech fair. So think of it as like South by Southwest meets in-person networking with virtual components later, so you can stay connected. So you're going to get to put your hands on artificial intelligence, on the fast mill machines, on the robots, on the mannequins. We've got it all. We've never done anything like this.
No, it's going to be super exciting, and the opportunities. I just got back from DICOM last week, and it's an amazing program. Lots of 2,000 people there. But I'll tell you, the thing I heard over and over and over again was, how do I get my associates? How do I get my younger doctors? And I'm going to say, even how do I get my older doctors to become more productive and to be, with new technology, with new thoughts, with new ideas, comes a lot of excitement. And
Right.
The fear goes to the wayside, confidence starts to build, and productivity starts to build. And I can pretty well tell you the small cost for coming to this program, you're going to make that up in a matter of a day or 2 days, because when you see things differently, productivity goes up. But more importantly than anything, you're taking better care of your patients. You're doing what you really set out to do when you went to dental school, to take great care of people. And, we get into this insurance mentality. We get into this, where I'm going to do what insurance covers or only what, third-party financing covers. No, you're going to, first of all, get permission to tell your patients exactly what they need to have done. because you know what I believe, Victoria. I mean, I believe that the dentistry that I do for you should have a great chance of lasting the rest of your life, not be replaced every 7 years or 5 years or 10 years. That's ridiculous. And I didn't get into the industry. I didn't get into dentistry to take care of people where I had to retake care of them every 5 or 6 months. You know, I don't want to do that. And so that's where the risk factors play an amazing role. And patients, when they understand what needs to be done, when they understand it really is their problem, that we are now their consultant, their advocate for getting their oral health taken care of, guess what? They do it. And so that's what's going to be super exciting about the program in September. It's our first Clinical Calibration Institute meeting. And I'm telling you, just the caliber of the people that we put together, I'm looking forward to hearing it. So yeah. I'm excited.
There's so much more to it. We've got Jeff Buski. Who doesn't know Jeff Buski now? He's going to be talking about your life system, and it just goes on and on and on. Our alumni are phenomenal. Speaking of which, all of our Hall of Famers will be there. So it's kind of a who's who of Facebook groups and dental towns and Instagrammers who will be there. So you've often said you learn more in the hallways on breaks than you do inside the classroom. We have specifically designed this program for lots of networking. This one in particular is going to be special. We also have your former hygienist, AOSH board member and international speaker, Michelle Hudson, there to talk about the oral systemic connection. As a hygienist, it warms my heart to see how far hygiene has come since. Gosh, you and I are battle-worn 1980s sort of veterans. And
right. The important thing was, that, when we look at increasing productivity, which I always like to talk about because that gets to the bottom line. But when you're taking great care of patients, the average hygienist out there is maybe doing $110, an hour in productivity, maybe 125, maybe 130. But when you add in the oral systemic connection, all of a sudden, now your hygiene is doing $250 an hour, $300 an hour. That's very different. Why? Because you're taking a higher level of care of your patient. Same thing is happening with the dentist. You're taking a higher level of care and more people say yes to treatment. So it's going to be an exciting time. We also have Emmett Smith as a keynote speaker coming.
Well, of course.
That's going to be amazing. So we've got a lot of celebrations coming up in September. Super excited about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you've been struggling, if you're stuck, if you feel like you're in an insurance rut, your productivity is just not going up, this is the program for you. We do have special celebration pricing. Our typical fee for dentists is $21.95 for this event for associate doctors. There are scholarships available to lower that down to $14.95. How long does it take for a doctor to increase? Let's go crazy and say 5 times. They're going to make back $10,000 on this $2,000 all-in investment. How long does it take?
They'll make it back in the first month. No doubt about it.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
if they're actually listening and are at the program, that is what's going to happen. Just being around the type of people that are going to be at the program, your productivity will go up, and that's pretty well guaranteed.
I love that. I just got a text from a doctor. He's not in coaching. He came to the workshop, sat there for 2.5 days, took it all in, and texted us to say, oh my gosh, just implementing the scheduling technology that I learned, haven't added anything to my service mix. I haven't bought any new equipment, but my productivity went up so much, so fast that my Peterson rep noticed and said, right. What are you doing? So based on the supply purchase, he's like, what the heck are you doing? You've doubled your orders. And he said, oh, I went to PDA. And so the Peterson supply reps are reaching out to us going, can you help?
Right. I've seen the same thing happen with the laboratories. They go, wait a minute, you usually do X amount of units per month. Now you're doing double that. How is that?
Yeah.
Is it because you're just, have new financing? You have no, it's because I'm comprehensively evaluating the patients and getting them to become a part of the long-term care, in which I think people are becoming much more astute and have a much better understanding. They look up stuff online. They find, yes, that is a fact. Oh yeah, that's a fact. And with AI and with all the things that are coming down the pipe, this is going to be a program not to miss.
Bruce, thanks for hopping on and doing a special podcast, special recording. We are celebrating every way we can this year with new partnerships, new programming. They say you have to refresh your business every 7 years. I think we're well prepared to launch our 21st year.
I think we are. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you subscribe. Pass it along to a friend. Give us a like on iTunes and Spotify, or drop me an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. Don't forget to check out other podcasts from the Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentistpodcast.com. Join me again next week for another episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.